Willkommen, bienvenue, welcome one again to another live stream with the adorable Karen Bashford, an empowerment mentor who's actually helped me personally, but is actually out there to help you as well. Today we're talking about a topic that will fill some with dread and others with perhaps relief that someone's finally talking about it. Financial insecurity. Good Lord, Karen, what a topic.
What a topic. Vital though, because we have to face the reality that life is getting tough because of lack of funds, or so we believe.
So, I mean, you told me before we go on air that there's no reason why any of us shouldn't have enough to be able to do what we need to do.
Absolutely. There's nothing to stop us from having everything that we want. There is no restriction. We just believe there is. And that's down to governments, that's down to the stories that have been passed down through the generations that say, actually, everyone has to be controlled. Everyone can't have what they want. Rubbish. Sorry, absolute rubbish.
Well, glad you rubbished that one there. What I mean, in all seriousness, anyone can secure their financial future
Yeah, you just have to believe that you can.
without robbing a bank.
Without robbing a bank, yeah. Be a lot easier if we all could just walk into the bank and take what we wanted, but we don't have to do that.
Yeah, I think they're against that.
I think so. But then again, they're the ones that are telling us there's not enough money. Actually, there's more than ample. It's just that what we've been taught and what we've been led to believe is there isn't sufficient.
Right. Good Lord. All right. So are you saying it's just a mindset change? We're standing in our own ways.
Absolutely. It's a mindset change and an energetic, emotionally charged change within the body. Because like any relationship, you bring to yourself what you believe. So if you believe you don't deserve money, or if you believe that you're not able to make the money that you want, or have the money, even, it's not necessarily about making it, it's about having it, you're going to stop that vibration matching money. And money is just an energy, just like anything else in our lives. Everything is energy. When you bring your mindset into that space of being, I am entitled to this, I deserve this, and actually stop your body going, yeah, but you've never had it because you don't believe it, you're going to start creating absolute magic in your life, because money will just flow to you because it's saying, I like you. And that's what it's all about, is matching that energy and accepting that you're deserving of whatever you want in your life, whether it's $1 million house or a small yacht or just a tiny dinghy. It does not matter. You can have it, but you've got to believe that you're entitled to it, which everyone is, even though a lot of people would be cringing at the word entitled. It's no different to deserving. You are deserving.
I think the thing that most of us want, if we're going to be honest, isn't really the money, it's the time it buys you. It's it's the ability to go and spend time with your loved ones, or it's your ability to spend time furthering a hobby, or taking a special interest into a next level. Can you give me some tips on what we should do?
Okay, so most of us have been experiencing in some shape or form fear, because
Absolutely.
That's what we're taught. We're taught to be fearful. So why are you fearful? Who says that you can't have the money? Who says that you don't deserve to have that time? Who says
I think it's because it seems so difficult, that it seems so out of our reach, that it seems that we must be not deserving of it, perhaps.
But then, if we're not deserving of it, why is it available to some and not to others?
Well, that is the age-old question. Yes, quite.
And that is down to the fact that we don't believe we're entitled to it, that we don't believe that we deserve it. And the only way you're going to change that is to start recognizing what you're actually saying to yourself. because we all have words that we will use that stop us from achieving the income. And I say income because it can come from any form. It doesn't have to be earned. It can come to you in any form. You know, I've got clients that have literally worked with me and gone out and kept finding money laying around. That's how money can come to you, and that's how you can get your freedom of time and the freedom to live the life that you want to live.
It's a daunting thing because you've always been taught to treat money as if it's the reserve of the entitled, the reserve of those that are better than you.
But
They're going
nobody's
to
better.
they're going to get more than you are, and you're always going to be struggling, and that's the story.
But nobody's better than you. Absolutely nobody is better than you. You have your life journey, you have your experiences, but that doesn't mean to say that you have to live those experiences believing that you don't deserve something better, that you can't create something better. And that's the problem. We have been so indoctrinated that we have to think that only certain people are allowed to have money, or only certain people are allowed to have the freedom to do what they want. That's a load of Tommy rot. I'm sorry.
I haven't heard that expression since I was a kid. Um,
Show my age.
perhaps showing mine too. Look, but it's still, there's so many financial institutions that seem to place uh, uh, huge barriers between you and accessing it, that you have to do so many jumps and leaps and so on before you can get anywhere close to realizing your financial goals.
But who said you have to go to a financial institution?
Okay.
You don't have to go to a financial institution.
No, it's the story we've all been told. So,
Yes, precisely. So change the story. And that's what this is all about. You're capable of creating your own prosperity. You're more than capable of having as much money as you would love, or the freedom to have the lifestyle you love, which comes from having money. There's the only thing stopping you is what you believe is true. And who says that we have to go to institutions to get our money? Who says that we have to rely on the government to provide certain aspects of our life? Who says that we have to continue living the way we're living? Only what we believe
I think we
when we
do.
are told.
I think one does what one does because it's what one knows, and it's what one has always done, and also it's the perhaps what our parents did and what their parents did, and perhaps what our
Exactly.
community did, and what
It's a
it's
repeating
considered to be
story.
normal. That's the
Yeah.
thing.
So how about stepping out of normal?
Well,
And
that's
that's a
scary.
scary thing. Yeah, precisely. And I'm the first to admit stepping outside of normal is scary. But actually, it's the best thing you can do for yourself. Stepping outside the expected and starting to do the unexpected shifts how you feel about your life, how you feel about yourself, how you respond to situations as well, because we all have this wonderful ability to cope with anything that's thrown at us. But we're told we can't. We're led to believe that we can only cope with a certain amount. We're led to believe that we have to follow the norm. No, we don't. Be different. Be yourself. Learn who you really are. If you take all the training, all the lessons, and all the experiences you've had that have been passed down to you, start stripping them out. Start questioning them. Is this true? Do I really have to believe this? We have the possibility of being limitless in anything we want to achieve. But we restrict ourselves and believe that we can't have that financial security that we're all looking for. And that's due to the fact of what we continually told, experience, witness, and actually are programmed to believe. So the only way you're going to change that is to actually start questioning what's true, what you carry from the past, and what you want to believe. Challenging.
It is daunting.
Hmm.
It is daunting. And sometimes it's knowing what to do first. I suspect.
The first thing you can do is to actually start questioning what is really true. There will be times when, yes, you've had no money, you've been worried about where the money's coming from, but you change your mindset and you change what you believe about money and you change your life. I can give you a prime example where I was literally sitting, looking at my bank account thinking, how the hell am I going to pay my rent this month? Literally, probably 6 hours before my rent was due to go out of my bank account, which would be a big no because the overdraft wasn't even there, I received more than sufficient to cover my rent out the blue. I just had somebody reach out to me and say, I want to work with you. How much is it going to cost? Here's the money. Literally 6 hours before the money was supposed to go out of my account.
Wow.
That is a shift in the belief that you can have whatever you need. Because I kept sitting there thinking, how am I going to produce this £1,000 to pay my rent? How am I going to do that? I'm just like everyone else in a panic state when I'm looking at my bank account thinking I haven't got the money. Actually, all I needed to do was to think, I've never been let down. There's always been sufficient money. And if you look at your life, there are times when, yes, you've struggled, but generally you'll find that you will get that extra bit of money in, or that extra, somebody says to you, well, look, here, I'll have this for the moment and sort it out later on, and things like that. That's because you believe that you're not going to be left, that you're not going to have the money. You're not going to have the means to create what you need at that moment in time. And that's the mind shift.
It's quite a strong mind shift. It's. I know several people who are quite ingrained with the idea that this is my lot. It never gets any better than this. This is what you've got.
Well, if you want to live like that, that's your choice, but you don't have to. Everything we do in life is a choice. It's a choice whether we want to believe that we are going to be broke, that we don't deserve, or it's a choice that we can manage and exceed our own expectations. But it requires effort, obviously. You can't just sit back and say, yes, it's going to come to me. No, it's not. I sat there and racked my brains for every means I could to produce that money. But at the end of the day, I kept saying, I'm always supported. I am always given what I need and more. And that's the thing you've got to start believing in, that you're never, ever left on your own. And there's always more than enough to get you through whatever situation you're in.
Now, I'm going to put up the ticker because I think people should start their wellness journey, and part of that is financial wellness. Because often the fear of not being able to make rent or pay mortgage leads to unwellness.
Absolutely. I know that because I've been there.
Now, and also I want to briefly mention before we wrap it up, which we will do in a minute, your Egyptian retreat. Is that, when is that? So we've got book dates.
We've got definitely the 22nd to the 29th of October, and I'm still negotiating the one for February, simply because obviously February is the month of love, and flights are a bit iffy and things like that. And
well, they're maxed out and the prices are sky high. So
I'm working on that one, but I do feel that February is probably a good time to go, simply because this is about learning to love yourself and recognizing that you deserve everything you desire, and it starts with knowing yourself and loving yourself enough to be able to trust that you are the creator of your life.
Well, it only remains for me to thank Karen. Every week I learn something new. if you want to start your wellness journey. It's an attitudinal thing, it's a mindset shift, and also it's a way of treating yourself with respect, I guess.
Mm.
If you want to start that journey, I think you should go to KarenBashford.com, make contact with her. She's very, very approachable, and I suspect it will be the start of a new dawn for you in many ways.
Absolutely.
Karen, thank you so much for this, and to all of you watching, I see you flicking in and out of X and so on. Thank you for taking the time to watch us here. Um, do bear in mind that you just got to keep your feet on the ground, but do keep reaching for the stars or the moon. Um, and who knows, if you take the right attitude, you'll get what you want. Um, and just look after that mental health. Bye bye now.
Bye.